Okay, so I'm Clark Weiniger. My company is Mustache Power Productions, and maybe this will advance slides for me. Or maybe it won't. It doesn't want to advance.
It won't help.
Oh, there we go. Weird. All right, so my background is in internet marketing. I actually started at Doba with Jeremy back in 2003, I think, and was at Doba for 6 years, and then he fired me, and I don't know why that's advancing on me automatically. He fired me. I wasn't good enough for Doba. You got to be really good to work for Jeremy. So I went to work for a company called MedSource RX and was their director of marketing for a little over a year and a half. And I actually started Mustache Power by accident. And again, it goes back to Jeremy. Who here has started or has heard of LaunchUp? Okay, yeah, he just announced this, so everybody should have heard it. But the very first LaunchUp was just a little bit after Jeremy fired me. And I think he was feeling bad for me because he fired me. So he called me up and said, "Dude, I got a project for you." I said, "I don't work for you anymore." And he was like, "No, I'm trying to help you out. You know, I'll pay you I've got this thing called LaunchUp, and it's going to be huge, and we want to stream it live. Do you think you could figure that out?" And I was like, well, video had always been kind of a hobby of mine, and I was into the internet. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll figure it out. So we streamed the first LaunchUp, and it went okay, and then I thought it was really interesting, and so I just kept trying to find better and better ways to make the live stream for LaunchUp look presentable and look better. The first one looked probably about how Web Startup Group looks tonight. I'm sorry, Matt, but the BYU connection for some reason won't let Flash Media Live Encoder connect. They've got some sort of firewall, so it's really pixely, but we're still streaming. So after the first LaunchUp, I kept doing them, and after a little while, I started getting other companies ask me, you know, how much do you charge to do this? Can you? My company's got an event coming up, and we want to stream it live. So I was like, oh yeah, send me the details, and I'll give you a quote. You know, I had no idea. I was just doing it for Jeremy for free, and pretty soon I was using up all my PTO to go do events for other people, and it didn't take me too long. You know, I'm not that big of an idiot, so I was like, man, I might have something here. I'm using all my PTO. I haven't done any promotion or marketing or prospecting. People are just coming to me asking for this. What if I actually tried? Could I make a business out of this? And so May of this year, I quit my job and decided to do Mustache Power full time. But one of the things before I quit, I didn't want to necessarily start a business where forevermore my income would be based upon my work. I thought to myself, you know, is there something scalable here? Is there a business beyond just, you know, being another videographer who happens to do live streaming events? And so that's kind of what I'm going to go over next. Do you have a magic finger or what?
No, I don't know. Didn't like it.
I jinxed it when I made that PC comment. That's what happened.
Could just, I guess, manually go click on it.
Cool. We'll skip that. It's not important anyway.
Escape there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh boy, now I hit one of your hot spots. Cool. All right. So what I did was I tried to come up with a business plan that I thought would help me get this to a point where it wasn't just dependent on me always working. And so this is the really, really simplified version. I promise there's details, but I only have 5 minutes. So
That works.
perfect. So the first phase is I just wanted to be able to, you know, replace my income. I didn't want to, you know, starve. I didn't want to lose my house. I wanted to stay where I was still living. And I wanted to do it all without raising a lot of money because I didn't want to be beholden to somebody else. Part of the reason I started my own business was because I wanted to be my own boss. And I figured if I raised money and had other people who had, you know, given me something to do the business, then I would be beholden to them, and I didn't want to do that. So happily, I think I can safely say that I'm on to phase 2 now. Things are going well enough that I'm not in danger. You can see that I'm, you know, doing okay. I'm not starving. I still live in my house. And I'm starting to look for some of the things in phase 2. I've started to invest in some equipment. Speaking of which, if anybody knows anybody at the Utah Open Source Conference that stole a piece of my equipment, I want it back. I'm kind of disappointed in them. But anyway, so we're getting more equipment. I actually have guys that are kind of auditioning to be sales guys. I don't believe in just hiring somebody, have them come in and work for me. So I've had a few guys come in and do some calling for me, some prospecting. But the idea is that I'll move on from doing smaller events like Launch Up and Web Startup Group. No offense, you guys are awesome, but I'm hoping to, do bigger events where they have larger budgets. Other companies that do this charge a lot of money. And part of the reason that I think that there's a business here is because it doesn't have to be that expensive. If you were to ask Ustream to produce your event, they'll charge you 20 grand a day. I'm just a little bit less than that. Okay, I'm a lot less than that. But the idea is that, so I'll start that up, be able to produce a professional event, and then I need to get a better platform. Most of the streaming platforms out there are very focused on consumers right now. They're kind of like YouTube's, only for streaming. There's not something out there that really focuses on corporate clients. And I get a lot of clients that ask me for features that just don't exist in any existing platform. And so as I get money and can fund some of this, I'd like to start working on building my own platform that I can use to be able to give clients what they want. From there, I plan on creating some marketing materials and a training program for videographers. Like I said, I don't necessarily want to produce every event that I go to, but there are tens and tens of thousands of videographers across the US who, with just a little bit of training, could easily add live streaming to their resumes and go after those clients. There's a lot of business to be had. And so I'll charge them to go through my training program. They'll be certified. And then from there, it's kind of back to my roots where instead of becoming a production company, I'll start generating leads like I did at Doba or MedSource RX. And then I'll just send these leads out to the different videographers who have been certified on my platform. Oh, am I out of the...
Just got a text message from somebody online.
Oh, perfect. So once I've gotten there, then I'll generate leads and send those out to the videographers and take a commission off of what they charge, as well as charge for the platform fees. And then after that, I figure I'll be able to buy some nachos. So that's kind of the business plan. I think I'm out of time, right?
You are.
Hope I didn't go
No,
too
that's
far
okay.
over. Anyway, I had some needs,
So-
but
Questions for Clark while the next group comes and sets up? We'll give
go to
Clark
this
some
slide real
questions
quick.
here.
while they
Yeah.
ask
Yeah,
questions.
Just a very quick one. You talked about PTO. Is that an acronym that people should know? Or? Oh, right.
Paid time off.
And the other one was, have you thought about maybe doing like a white label service or something like that?
Yes, definitely. That's part of building my own platform, and that's, companies don't want to stream on Ustream where, I did Ignite Salt Lake the other day, and for anybody to watch it, they had to watch a 60-second beer commercial with, chicks in bikinis jumping around. And if I'm, my own company, I don't necessarily want my brand associated with something like that. So definitely a white label is a part of the plan going forward.
What are some of the features you said not available with the...
There's, oh, you're okay. You can stop that. There's a lot of people, if you're putting on a corporate event, say you're putting on a seminar or a conference, you charge most of your attendees to come to your conference. There's not a real easy way to do that with the online streaming platforms. If you wanted to say, hey, yeah, we'll charge you to attend remotely, you can do it, but it's going to require a lot of development on your side and a lot of work to be able to merchant the transaction. There's not something that's just integrated with Eventbrite where they can go in and select, oh, I want to attend live or I want to attend remotely. And there's several other things like that there's just some levels of customization that I think companies would really like to see, as well as being able to put their content up there without ads, restrict the access to it with different levels based on what people have paid for and things like that. You might be able, if you're doing a big several-day conference, you could charge for certain keynotes. You could sell things separately, or you could sell the whole conference or things like that. And there just isn't a good platform out there for live streaming and archiving the footage right now. There's a company in Utah that I actually work with a lot that is probably one of the closest things that I've seen. I work with a company called BizVision, and they may be a solution going forward. But I still think they're missing a few things. They're really good at continuing education stuff. But I think for some of the corporate conferences and events, they're missing out on a couple key features. set up for the next one. Is there any other questions?
Any other questions?
Can you
Cool.
tell if it's
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the